Thursday, October 23rd, 2014. While immigrant workers from Mexico to the US, especially the illegal ones, get better treatment than the people who actually live here, the story is vastly different for immigrants to the UAE. Reports of physical and sexual abuse and even passport withholding are starting to pile up. Immigrants from the Philippines, Indonesia, India, Bangladesh, and other locations seeking a better life are subjugated to a life akin to indentured servitude, and they can't go anywhere else. A kindergarten in the town of Fiumicino, Italy, has banned a 3-year-old girl from attending class due to the Ebola scare. With the family having returned from a vacation in Uganda, the staff of the school near Rome have given in to the fear-mongering. Ironic that a place of education doesn't know how to contract the disease. Other parents have boycotted this establishment, especially since no case of this outbreak has been recorded in that area of the world. Florida, the South of the South, is not only pro-racism, but is pro-dictatorship. A new advertising campaign using only black children is advertising said young people wearing bulletproof vests as part of a political message stating, quote, "If you don't let gun control laws pass, then you might as well buy your kids some Kevlar," end quote. What these ignorant morons don't realize is once a law passes that removes things, another law will come to be that will wish to remove even more. This will continue until it is illegal to own any form of weapon, let alone a firearm, in this country, leading to complete government control and potentially genocide. Don't believe me? Ask the Native Americans. Ask Germany what they did to cause the Holocaust. Ask any form of people who had their rights and liberties slowly removed via legality and then found themselves under the boot. Nicknamed the Halliburton loophole, the fracking industry in the US is legally allowed to operate unregulated, at least when it comes to diesel-based fluids. This allows companies operating under these circumstances to dump otherwise illegal toxic liquids wherever, whenever, and however they wish. Yeah, Woody, it was the fracking industry. Just barely a month since the last incident, the question of White House security still has yet to be answered. A man, identity yet to be released, has jumped the fence of the presidential palace and was even able to kick a Secret Service attack dog that was sent to take him down before he was finally arrested. At this point, I'm wondering why they don't just shoot on sight. It's the White House, the place where our supposed commander-in-chief lives. Is that less of an importance than over half of our military bases? If that's so, then is the most important man in our country really that important? A new device now exists for brain surgery. A robot specifically designed to operate on the area of the brain that causes epileptic seizures enters through the cheek. This is to cause a less invasive approach which also shortens the surgery itself and allows the patient to recover faster. Today from the past. In 2012, after 38 years, the world's first teletext service, BBC's Keyfax, ceases broadcasting due to Northern Ireland completing the digital switchover. In 1958, the Smurfs, a fictional race of blue dwarves later popularized in a Hanna-Barbera animated cartoon series, appeared for the first time in the story La Flûte à Six, a Johan and Peewit adventure by Peyo, which was serialized in the weekly Spirou magazine. In 1946, the United Nations General Assembly convened for the first time in an auditorium in Flushing, Queens, New York City. In 1942, during World War II, the largest naval battle in history began in the Philippines, the Battle of Leyte Gulf. In 1929, after a steady decline in the stock market prices since a peak in September, the New York Stock Exchange began to show signs of panic, leading to the Great Depression. In 1915, between 25,000 and 33,000 women marched on Fifth Avenue to advocate their right to vote. In 1911, an Italian pilot took off from Libya to observe Turkish army lines during the Italo-Turkish War. This was the first use of an aircraft during an armed conflict. In 1867, 72 senators were summoned by royal proclamation to serve as the first members of the Canadian Senate. In 1707, the first Parliament of Great Britain met, and in 425, Valentinian III was elevated as Roman Emperor at only 6 years old. Births: Weird Al Yankovic, 1959. Unfortunately, there was not anything in Geek News today, so that leaves me with this. And that is it for today's show. Links to everything I've talked about, as well as more information on those stories, as well as a couple more stories I didn't report on are in the underbar. Don't forget to look right and left at every intersection and rate 5 thumbs and subscribe. You will see me tomorrow.